RamiX back from my video. In today's video, as Till suggests, what if Naruto had 7 Kekkei Genkais? This what if is a very special one on the channel, as it is a collab with a very good friend of mine known as Aventie. Some of you may have heard of him, some of you may have not. For those who have, Aventie is an amazing content creator who, like me, does Naruto what ifs. So I would appreciate it if you showed him some love in the description by subscribing to his channel. Make sure to like, share the video to a friend who likes what ifs or just anime content in general. Comment down below with a suggestions or your thoughts and feelings about the video down below. Thank you for 5K, but the next milestone is going to be 9K by June and 14K by the end of the year. As the milestones change whenever Social Blade updates my status and predicts, how many subs I can get in, say, 2 months. Because me personally, I like to beat that, because it would show to me in some way or another that I'm changing fate. Anyways, as I said before, make sure to subscribe to Aventie, whose link will be down below, and enjoy. So now let's get into the video. Also, tell me if you like this way that I kind of represent this video, or like present it, where I talk a bit and then put in the intro. Anyways, let's begin. The Sage of Six Paths would watch as Minato sealed the Nine Tails within a baby Naruto. His fate has already been decided. He shall clash with the current reincarnation of Indra Otsutsuki. As he thought of this, he felt the threat of Kaguya's return be an everlasting issue. And with the setback of the QB known as the Nine Tails being sealed within Naruto, it would make Naruto leagues below Uchiha Sasuke from the get-go. Hagoromo thought the best thing for him to do was to bestow Naruto with many Kekkei Genkai and guide him in the right direction. Hagoromo would say to himself as he clapped his hands together. A mystical white aura would appear over Naruto's body. Wood style would form around him in a dome-like shape as sparks of electricity sparked around the wood. He'd begin to cry as the Sharingan and Byakugan would be visible in his eyes. As the storm released lightning style was around him, his bones, or the bones in his elbows, would extend uncontrollably due to the Kaguya clan's bone release technique piercing through the wood dome. Hagoromo would then glare at Naruto as he would then turn his attention back to the reincarnation of his son Indra. At this moment, Sasuke would be in the arms of his mother, Mikoto Uchiha, as Hagoromo would also shine his blessing upon Sasuke, but not in the form of power, in the form of progression. No matter Sasuke's goal, Hagoromo must leave both Sasuke and Naruto balanced, and he'll do that by giving Sasuke the ability to progress at insane rates and speeds, like being able to pick up skills with ease. "I bless you, my son," Hagoromo would say under his breath, leaving events to transpire on their own. Hiruzen would arrive on scene as he watched what had happened. Now Naruto also had ice around him, and it seemed that all of his Kekkei Genkais had now manifested. Many Anbu would gather around looking at the peculiar event. The news that the Nine Tails had been defeated would spread Konoha into a frenzy of happiness. They were happy that the Nine Tails was killed, or what they thought was killed. But then, the news was also able to spread through Konoha like a wildfire, and threats of who the Jinchuriki was at an all-time high. Hiruzen would calm the rumors down, saying that it was a boy with blonde hair, is what Danzo would say. In the midst of these rumors, it had seemed that Danzo revealing this was a mistake. He shouldn't have revealed it in the first place. As he would then yell in a loudspeaker, the Nine Tails was dormant within Naruto's body. Because of this, Naruto's powerful aura caused many to try to kill him. Naruto, in the hopes to avenge their family members, Basically, they wanted to kill Naruto to avenge their family members. Hiruzen, instead of letting an S-rank secret like Naruto's Jinchuriki status slip from Danzo's mouth with no consequences, would be forced to kick Danzo, someone who he thought he would never have to do this to, out of the council, adding in a man named Kotsuke Kotsuke. Kotsuke is a genin who was trained by each and every Kage from the 1st to 4th, meaning that in that regard he should at the very least be low Jonin level, and Kotsuke is regarded as a somewhat filler character, so I'll be adding him to the canon. Kotsuke would accept the role for his village as Danzo held on to his root with an iron thumb, plotting in the background to defeat Hiruzen and become Hokage, as well as eliminate the threat of Naruto by using him as a weapon. Hiruzen would then rebuild the Leaf Village with the help of people like Yamato, who would speed up the process to a great deal. Naruto would then grow up, bullied to a much larger degree, in short due to his odd presence and aura, and in full because of the 9 tails within him. Naruto couldn't help but be depressed. He had no parents, and when trying to befriend people, they would run away as if he were some monster. In this timeline, everyone would run away. This would break Naruto, causing him to actually view himself as a monster, and instead of doing pranks, he would do large, great deeds for the community. But at the end of the day, no matter how many thank yous he got, he was still treated like scum in the background. He was still treated like an animal. Hiruzen, seeing this, would adopt Naruto, telling him, well, that his father had wished for him to be a hero. Asuma, knowing the importance of Naruto's existence in the Leaf, treated him how his father had wished, as a hero, and with a great deal of respect. Naruto would learn many jutsu, but even after learning these jutsu from people like Asuma and Hiruzen, he was unable to actually use them. His chakra control had been so bad in this timeline that he couldn't even perform the transformation jutsu. This would cause Naruto to go deeper and deeper into depression, or a depression-like state, being pulled out of it after meeting Uchiha Sasuke of the Leaf at the age of 5. Naruto and Sasuke would both stare deep into each other's eyes, with Sasuke wiping his eyes in surprise. Am I dreaming, Sasuke thought, or is that the Sharingan in a Hyuga's possession? You see, Naruto, through primal reaction, activated his Sharingan and Byakugan, and Sasuke, not knowing what the Uzumaki clan was, nor even the Yamanaka clan, would suspect him well to be a Hyuga. Sasuke, at this point, not knowing the deepness surrounding his eyes, the Sharingan, wouldn't continue to question it, as Naruto would look at Sasuke, seeing that he was different than Naruto. Naruto would also see that Sasuke was different. Sasuke had a family that loved him, and his goal was to impress them. While on the other hand, Naruto could barely even, use jutsu, if any at all. Naruto would bow to Sasuke. Sasuke would be shocked at this gesture from Naruto. Naruto showed a great deal of respect for Sasuke, someone who had nothing in his way of becoming a strong shinobi. Feared throughout the Gate Nations, Naruto thought. That is Sasuke. So Naruto would bow. Sasuke would then recognize Naruto as the boy with the 9 tails sealed within him, as the Uchiha spoke a lot about the boy, and Sasuke, being the son of the man planning the coup d'etat, would hear of a boy with blonde hair, with odd powers, somewhat often, causing him to believe that this was him. Sasuke would tell Naruto to stand, asking why someone of Naruto's strength could ever bow to him. Naruto would say that he has a lot of power, but the truth is, he can't really use it, any of it. He lacks the skills needed for chakra control, mainly, and Naruto would say, I can never keep concentration for extended periods of time, but you've inspired me, Sasuke. Inspired? Oh, it was nothing. Naruto would look to the sky. I won't make any excuses. I'll become the best of the best and rise beyond them all. I'll master my chakra control so that I'm praised for it, and I'll gain the respect of each in every village through my hard work. Then I'll become Hokage, and people will have to accept me for who I am and respect me. I'll never be bullied. Naruto would wave his hand into the air as he spoke. Thank you, Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto would then arrive in a training field, and each and every day Naruto would come to this field to train, honing his skills. Eventually, after 2 years straight of chakra control training, Naruto would be able to create shadow clones, and many of them. So much so that when people watched him create them, they would either wonder why he hadn't had the multi-shadow clone jutsu, or recommend him to learn the jutsu. Naruto would then learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu from Hiruzen, being perfect for Naruto. Naruto would continue to train, discovering his many Kekkei Genkai, while Fugaku spoke to a few Uchiha outside of his home. Sasuke would hear the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki be brought up, with Sasuke asking if they meant the Hyuga with the Sharingan. Hyuga, Fugaku would say, telling Sasuke to come talk with them. Sasuke would explain his experience with Naruto that took place over 2 years ago. Fugaku would get the idea to claim the boy as an Uchiha so that they could have the strongest clan in the village. With a lot of bargaining with the Lord, Hokage, if you will, or with Lord Third, and Naruto saying upon his own will that he would like to join the Uchiha clan, they would pass by the law of a single clan owning the Nine Tails. The other clans would be infuriated, but even though they were infuriated, they could do nothing about it. This would start war, causing the Uchiha and Hyuga to have many brief skirmishes that resulted in ties, unless people like Shisui, Itachi, and Fugaku were fighting. Eventually, with the agreement of Naruto representing the Hyuga clan through his name, they would sign a treaty of peace between each other. We now have a time skip of 5 years, with Naruto being put on Team 7, as it had seemed that the marks he previously had carried on into the future affected his grades, stunting his score, meaning that Sasuke would also be placed on the team, not only because he had one of the highest scores, but also because, at this point, Naruto and Sasuke had a brother-like bond, strong enough for them to be allowed on Team 7 together. And for the third member, it is not Sakura, instead it is Hinata. As the Leaf thought, having a team of shinobi and kunoichi with dojutsu would strengthen its military power, similar to the Ino Shikacho formation. During this time, Naruto would gain access to all of his Kekkei Genkai except for Ice released, and Sasuke at this point had access to the 3 Tomoe Sharingan, Fire Style and Lightning Style, as well as Kenjutsu usage, with Hinata being a little above her canon counterpart. Due to the occasional sparring with Naruto and Sasuke, after teams had been picked, Kakashi would arrive late, bringing his team to the training grounds as they would have introductions, with Naruto going first as he spoke. I like ramen, which is my favorite food, containing many carbs in it, which are great for training, and I also like sparring a lot with Sasuke and even Hinata, because due to the fact that his name had been changed from Uzumaki Naruto to Naruto Hyuga, he had frequently sparred with the likes of Hinata and even Neji. Naruto would then say that he hates people who look down on others. That's why he hates Neji, and his dream is to become Hokage and to be acknowledged and respected by each and every villager. Sasuke would have the same likes here, but his dislikes would be a bit different, hating people who are lazy and don't make use of their time, because for Sasuke, every moment was valuable. Every moment he got stronger, every breath he took, and his dream is to surpass and defeat his elder brother in combat. This Sasuke is much more open, in part due to the fact that the Uchiha massacre has not happened yet, at least not yet. Hinata would also have the same likes, with her dislikes being people who believe that destiny decides all things, and her dream is to become the strongest kunoichi in history, as well as in the Hyuga clan, and if possible, the village. Kakashi would then explain the rules for the bell test as they would begin, and now it's time for Aventie to speak.
What's up, everybody? It's Aventie, and I'll be bringing you guys to this part of the story. Now, as Kakashi explains rules to Team 7, they would all get ready to start. Kakashi then says start, and then they would all head off. Naruto and Sasuke would be near each other, as Hinata is nearby them, while they are all hiding from Kakashi. Naruto would start trying to discuss a strategy to Sasuke and Hinata, and he says, well, he's a Jonin, but maybe if we use all our strongest attacks, then maybe we might have a chance. I don't see any other way. Sasuke and Hinata would then nod. Kakashi would then look behind him as 2 shuriken come out flying from a bush. Kakashi would catch these shuriken as he gets out his book. Naruto, seeing if he can do anything, jumps out of his bush and tries to catch Kakashi off guard. Naruto would try to jump Kakashi with some shadow clones, with most of them not hitting at all. Sasuke would then fight with Naruto as they try and attack in sequence. Kakashi then has a little spark in his eye and thinks to himself, wow, these guys aren't bad after all. Hinata would then try to come behind Kakashi and sweep him. Kakashi would backflip and going backwards, trying to dodge all these attacks. Kakashi would then say to them, you're pretty good. Sasuke would then form hand seals and fire a massive fireball at Kakashi. Kakashi then escapes underground to get away from the fireball. Sasuke then starts to panic, so he looks up and down, right and left, but no one is there except his teammates. Kakashi's arms then would come out of the ground, grabbing Sasuke's leg. Naruto would quickly jump over to Sasuke and pull out his bone sword. He would then try to slash at Kakashi, and he would also try not to hit Sasuke with it. Kakashi then backhand springs backwards to gain some distance between them. As Kakashi is still trying to dodge, Naruto says, "Ha! Those bells are mine," as he launches wood at Kakashi, surrounding him, and then eventually trapping him. Naruto would then say Hinata quickly get them. Hinata then quickly tries to grab one, and she successfully does. He then tries to grab the other, but Kakashi then takes out a string and throws it at Hinata's leg, catching her. She then falls over and drops the bell. Sasuke then has to come in quickly and grab the two bells, and he actually gets them successfully. But Kakashi still can't get out of the wooden cage Naruto has built up. His body is squished together. Naruto then lets go of his wooded style and walks up to Kakashi and smiles. Kakashi then falls out, and then he falls over. Naruto then puts his hand out, gesturing that, yes, Kakashi should grab it so he can pick him up. Kakashi then grabs Naruto's hand and says, "Well, you guys all passed the test. I haven't even had a team like this that could even grab the bells or use teamwork. Wow, let me just say, I can't wait for the future missions," as he puts his thumbs out. First mission will start tomorrow.